name is Amanda Glark. I'm going to be talking about the character trait of leadership. Colin Powell was interviewed during a press conference about leadership, and this is what he had to say about when asked about the definition of a leader.
My name is Amy Wilkinson. I'm a White House Fellow. My question is how you would define the key characteristics of effective leadership that allow you to go and be an advocate for good.
Trust. The longer I have been in public service and the more people have asked me about leadership over the years, leadership ultimately comes down to creating conditions of trust within an organization. Good leaders are people who are trusted by followers. Leaders take organizations past the level that the science of management says is possible. One of my sergeants back in the infantry school at Fort Benning almost 50 years ago, which is where I learned everything I ever got to learn about leadership, was at the infantry school. And he said to me one day, he said, "Lieutenant, you'll know you're a good leader when people follow you, if only out of curiosity." I've never had a better definition, because what he was saying, and I've seen it experienced in my life so many times. What he was saying is they trust you, and you have built up that trust. How did you do it? Clear mission and statement, selfless service. People look to you and they trust you because you're serving selflessly as the leader, not self-serving, selflessly, and that you prepare the followers, you train them. You give them what they need to get the job done. Don't give them a job if you're not going to give them the resources, and that you're prepared to take the risks with them. And so they would teach us at the infantry school, no matter how cold it is, Lieutenant, you must never look cold. No matter how hungry you all are, Lieutenant, you must never appear hungry. No matter how terrified you are, Lieutenant, you must never look terrified. Because if you are scared, terrified, hungry, and cold, they will be scared, terrified, hungry, and cold. I've gotten away with that many, many times in the course of my career by being scared to death, cold, and wanting to go to sleep. But no, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go around this corner, if only out of curiosity. And they'll follow you into the darkest night, down the deepest valley, up the highest hill, if they trust you. So the essence of leadership is about doing all that the science of management says you can with resources, but then taking it that extra step and giving it that spark. And that spark comes from getting people to trust you so that they will follow you, if only out of curiosity. Thank you.
So by trust and modeling, he's defining that to be a good leader. Google had the definition of being a good leader as the action of leading a group or people or an organization. Bruce Brown, who wrote the Teaching Character Through Sport book, said this about leadership. Coaches who are difference makers live purposeful lives. They're able to make meaningful difference in the lives of others, in their schools, in their communities, because of who they are and what they do. They lead by example. They're good models. Task Q had this to say about leadership. They defined 5 key traits that a good leader will have. And the first one is honesty, integrity. Second one is confidence. Third is inspiring others. 4 is commitment and passion. And 5 is being an excellent communicator. We'll go into each one of these in a little more detail. Honesty and integrity. To be persuasive, we must be believable. To be believable, we must be credible. To be credible, we must be truthful. This was a quote by Edward R. Murrow. Confidence. Eleanor Roosevelt had this to say about it. A good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. So it's not just about getting people to follow you. It's about getting people to believe in themselves and creating more leaders. Inspiring others. John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. It's not by position, it's by your actions. This is one of my favorite clips by Navy SEAL Admiral William H. McRaven from the University of Texas. Graduation. He had this to say about inspirational leadership.
The ninth week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and one special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down to the mud flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive the freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted, and somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud.
So he's saying that the student that started singing was leading. He was giving them hope. He was leading through inspiration. He was getting people to follow him. And that way, none of the students quit. This picture right here shows the difference between a boss and a leader, or a manager and a leader. A manager and a boss are going to sit there and direct people, give them orders, tell them what to do. A leader is out there in the front of the line. He's the one showing people how to do it. He's in the trenches leading by example. For communication, James C. Humes had this to say about it. The art of communication is a language of leadership. As a coach, we lead by example. We lead through modeling. This is said by John Wooden. 10 strong horses could not pull an empty baby carriage if they worked independently of each other. This is when you have a lot of talent on your team, but they don't have a leader to bring them together. They need some guidance. They need a direction. And this is where coaches come in. We come in and we lead them and give them a strategy and get them to their point. So this is another example of coaches leading through modeling. This is a clip from Friday Night Lights.
It's real simple. You got 2 more quarters and that's it. Now most of you have been playing this game for 10 years. You got 2 more quarters, and after that most of you will never play this game again as long as you live. Now you all have known me for a while, and for a long time now you've been hearing me talk about being perfect. Well, I want you to understand something. To me, being perfect is not about that scoreboard out there. It's not about winning. It's about you and your relationship to yourself and your family and your friends. Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down because you told them the truth. And that truth is that you did everything that you could. There wasn't one more thing that you could have done. Can you live in that moment as best you can with clear eyes and love in your heart? With joy in your heart. If you can do that, gentlemen, then you're perfect.
This coach is leading as an example. He is leading through modeling. I'll give you one final thought and words to ponder as we lead through as coaches. It's a Chinese proverb. It says, "A child's life is like a piece of paper on which every passerby leaves a mark." We want to be the good role models. We don't want to be leaving bad marks on this paper. So as you lead, be a servant leader and lead by example. Thank you.